Hmm. Oh, apparently I'm live. Okay, good morning, everybody. Maybe it's because of that window out there. Picture's not great. Um, yeah, I'm probably live a little bit later than I expected to be on account of the fact that, of course, nothing goes easily, does it? So, when I put it on the mobile, no, you can't go live from your mobile because they've just changed all the standards. I should have checked it last night, in fairness. They changed all the standards, and you can only go live from the mobile if you've got over 1,000 subscribers. Okay, well, I haven't got 1,000 subscribers, so there you go. So now here I am live on the computer. So to go and get the computer, sort that out. But I'm here. Let's see how it pans out. All right, I'm going to run it. I have no idea how this works. I don't even know if you can hear me. What does it say now? Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Keep the curiosity. Oh, so someone says something. I assume it disappears down the bottom. Failing that, I'm just going. What I'm going to do? I'm going to answer the questions. And bing bong, really. Right. Firstly, thanks very much for all the kind words about the van getting broken into. Yeah, not ideal. I think at the end of the day it was pilot error, and I think I was partly stupid. But I say it's behind an electric gate, which is then behind a single gate, which is locked. Well, only a few of us have got the key to it, and we're all trusted. But they came across the field, and through a hedge, and because it's got that very clicky thing, as opposed to the old-fashioned way we used to turn a key. Basically, I think I clicked it, and I clicked it open, and it went chunk. So it's open as opposed to chunk, so it's shut. So I think it was partly my own stupidity, partly being tired after running a 16-hour day, and partly just like, just sort of, I don't know if I'm lucky or unlucky. Am I lucky or unlucky? I lost half my gear. So am I half full, half empty? I'm going to say I'm lucky. I've still got my pallet truck. They didn't take my passport. They didn't take the driver's license. They didn't take. I've got this great big snap-on bar at the back with the thing that does the cranking. A lot of stuff is very difficult to get hold of, and it was my spare phone, and I had a spare sack barra. Well, what you do in situations like this, wipe your mouth and walk away. That's all you can do. So right, a few points. What we got? Stuart Torrington. Yeah, good point made on the ULEZ. Don't forget that new ULEZ. It keeps stuff in me. Because I see in my head it still works like congestion charge. I think, it's early in the morning. It won't know. It's active all the time. And he makes a point. If you go in at, say, 2 minutes to midnight, and you come out at 2 minutes past midnight, you've got to pay twice because you're paying for the Wednesday and for the Thursday if you go in. So bear that in mind. I mean, the odds of you getting a job inside the zone at sort of 11:30 at night, coming out at 12:30 at night, are incredibly rare. But if you do, and yes, you're Euro 6, like my mate Rob Reynolds out there. Well done, Rob. Bear that in mind. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused with computer within breakdowns. Glenn says, what do you do if you break down on a job? Well, it's just straightforward. If you break down or you have an accident or something goes wrong, just ring in. Call the shipper and go, look, the thing that shippers hate more than anything else is us lying to them. So when they ring you up and they say, where are you? And you go, I'm 5 minutes away. So they'll ring their customer and say, he's going to be there in 5 minutes. And then 20 minutes later, they ring you up and they go, where are you? Say, I'm 5 minutes away. So you said that 20 minutes ago. If you're 3/4 of an hour away, tell them you're 3/4 of an hour away. They can give the customer some soppy excuse, or they might shout at you and say, why? Which probably will be down to you if you've been co-loading or you stopped to see your aunt or something like that. But if you do everything right, if you pick Knob up and you go there and they go, well, where are you? And you go, well, I'm 3/4 of an hour away. You go, oh, you should have been there by now. You go, well, yeah, I should have been, but it's a long way, or there was traffic, or there was temporary traffic lights. These things can't be helped. You're only human. You just tell them the truth, and they have to go, oh, okay, fair enough, and they'll tell their customer the same, and their customer will say the same. So above all, just be honest with the shipper. If something goes wrong, I mean, if you can't start the van, it breaks down, you might want to give it 10 minutes trying to get it started or do the appropriate bits. Then you can ring in and go, look, the van ain't started. Can't work out why. Called the AA. They said they're going to be in 3/4 of an hour. At least they've got some information. So that's what to do if the job goes wrong. Can you be an owner-operator in the CX? Well, yes, a lot of them are. You pay slightly more because you have a different system, and obviously you can get the CX, and then you can also get, if you pay the same money, you can get apps for other people. So say, for example, I wanted to run the Uncom, or I wanted to employ someone. I can get an app where the job comes in on my phone, I accept it, then I send the job over to his phone. He doesn't see the money or anything like that. He gets all the details of where to go to, what to turn up, gets all the digital signature, and it all comes in on your CX. So yes, it is expandable. It's quite a good tool, you know. Well, I'm going to plug it. I'm using it anyway. Sign written vans. Can you run in a sign written van? It kind of depends. Most of them, they want sort of like, they want plain vans. They'll say plain van only. But I mean, my van's broken down before, and I've had to use like my mate's van. It says simple removals on the side, or it might say simple van hire. Well, you know, so you say, well, I tend to try and big the company up and go, look, the company is very good. I'm working for, they're a good company. They're very cheap. Sometimes we just can't fit demand, but we don't like to let the customer down. So we bring in additional vans, we hire vans for the day. We are expanding the fleet, give them all that, like, you know, so that's what I tend to do. I kind of figure if you big the customer up, then the person who delivered to might get back to the shipper and big the shipper up rather, and they might go, oh, thanks very much, good job. In which case, you get you good feedback, and they're more likely to ring you and ring you direct. But if it's got your company plastered all over the side of it, it's not ideal. You can still do it. Sometimes it says on the CX when it comes in, must have a plain van. So if it's must have plain van, it's not going to work, is it? If it doesn't say must have plain van, doesn't say must have plain van. So there you go. Lloyd J. Right. How long does it take before you get your first payment? Well, when you send your invoices out, they'll say on the invoice when it comes in, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 45 days. Some pay 7 days, some pay directly. Some you might get paid the next day. Some might say 45 days on the invoice, and after 45 days, you're chasing them. I have eliminated all of these problems. I use a factoring company. I've done it because I have to. I imagine there might be a time in the future where I get enough money where I could move away from factoring. There are pros and cons of factoring companies. On the minus side of things, a lot of shippers don't like dealing with them because they keep getting letters for saying you haven't paid our bill when they have paid the bill, because factoring companies get confused because they deal with a lot of paperwork. Mine, I've got to say, have been pretty good about that. Also, they cost you money. They're going to take a percentage of your wages. I mean, mine pay out 85% of the invoices I submit to them on a weekly basis, and then they pay out another further 12% when they get their money in. So they take 3% of my money. But for 3%, they also do all the chasing for me, all the keeping up for me. And I kind of think it's a reasonable deal. I don't ever have to ring companies and go, where's my money? It just appears in my bank every 7 days. And it costs me 3% of my running costs, which I actually, I would pay that for a service. If someone said I had to employ someone to do my invoicing for me, I would expect to pay them 3% of the weekly turnover anyway. So at the moment, it kind of works out for me. Who knows what's going to go in the future? But I mean, I use Castle Finance. They're based down in Bristol. They're a great firm. You have to be running for. The only problem is you have to be self-employed for 6 months to use them. There are other ones out there. A guy told me, one of the guys said he's using Lloyd's TSB. So look into it, guys. You know, see what factoring companies are out there. But that's how I get around the payment thing. Otherwise, there's no way I could ever get started. I was a market trader. I go to work for the day. I would come home with cash in my pocket at the end of the day. And I was running on a daily basis. It's not like I had a job where I got paid at the end of every month. And so I had a month's salary to live on. I was living, and the markets were falling, and I was in a hand-to-mouth, day-to-day basis, getting further and further behind. Without factoring, I couldn't run. I know a lot of you don't like it and don't recommend it, but for me, literally, it was use factoring or don't do it. There's no way I could have actually done the bills for 30, 60, 90 days, wait for the money to come and even start. So there we go. What else? Cash payments. If you do a cash job, when do you want to get paid? I would say it depends on how much you trust the guy. From my point of view, I think you normally ask for the money at the end of the job, unless you're doing a job and you really don't like it. You kind of go, well, can I have half up front or something like that? But normally you finish the job, you get paid. If they don't pay you, then you can chase them for the dough, or you just go, well, I won't do that again then.